hearing of the City of Tampa Community Redevelopment Agency being held on today,
The
Thursday, May
broadcast is now
25th.
starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
May 25th at 4:45 p.m. in the City Council Chambers in the third floor. I need to read that. The purpose of this hearing is to consider approval of a contract for the purchase and sale between the City of Tampa and the Destination Church of Tampa Incorporated for the purchase of real property located at 1101 East Curtis Avenue, 1109 East Osborne Avenue, 1001 East Osborne Avenue, and 1108 East Osborne Avenue, located in the East Tampa Community Redevelopment Area, for a purchase price of $2 million and closing cost of $22,000 to be funded from the East Tampa District CRA Fund. The public is able to attend this meeting via cable television on Spectrum Channel 640, Frontier, and Channel 15. Can we have a roll call?
Carlson, Kurtek,
Here.
Cunningham,
Here.
Maniscalco,
Here.
Vieira,
Here.
Miranda,
Here.
Henderson.
Present.
We have school quorum.
Okay, so we have Mr. Drumgo. Would you like to speak and tell us about this project?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, Madam Chair and CRA Board. Today, what we have before you is approximately 2.7 acres. You mentioned that this acquisition consists of 4 parcels. This is within the Seminole Heights neighborhood. This particular purchase agreement, I'll give them a second. It's all right. This particular contract for purchase, it provides for a closing within 60 days with 2 60-day extensions. I have here on the Elmo, if I could have that.
Madam Chair, in abundance of caution, just make a motion, if I may, to open the meeting for today.
Thank you. There's a motion to open the meeting of the CRA. I have a second from
No.
Councilmember
Vieira.
Luis Vieira. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Continue, Mr.
Yes,
Drumgo.
yes, Madam Chair. For the record, Deputy
Oh, the
Alicia.
public comment should go first? We have one person online for public comment, so we can hear them now. Is that correct?
That's fine.
There's one person registered, right?
Sir, you are self-muted. You may speak.
Hello, it's Thad Barrett. Are you referring to me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Hello, Madam Chair. Would you like me to comment now then?
Yes, you may comment.
Okay, thank you. Hello, Madam Chair and members of the board. I appreciate the opportunity to speak publicly on this matter. My name is Thaddeus Barrett. I am a partner of a property development firm in Tampa called Urban Reworks. Our goal is to help our community rethink real estate, and I would like to speak up in support of the topic of affordable housing. Urban Reworks is a property development and property management firm. We are focused on historic rehabilitation of multifamily, retail and residential mixed-use facilities. And we are committed to doing property development in a correct and appropriate manner, consistent with historic rehabilitation responsibilities and community interests. I want to speak in support of property development firms that have community stakeholders in mind. As this body is well aware, the crisis of affordable housing is perhaps the #1 issue affecting our community. And I want to encourage the City of Tampa to continue to support responsible property development firms like ours who are willing to take into account the interests of all stakeholders in pursuing even for-profit development projects. While I am trying to run a business and do well for all of our stakeholders, including our investors in mind, I want to take into account the interests of the community, including those among our community who cannot afford or attain housing and I want to encourage property development firms like mine to consider the needs of affordable and workforce housing in everything they do. So I know that this proposal involves the city of Tampa acquiring a historic church. I think the underutilized church properties in our community could be an amazing opportunity to create more affordable and workforce housing units. And I'd like to encourage the council to keep that in mind as we consider this important proposal. That's all I have. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Drumko, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll start over, and I'll take it from the top here.
Thank you.
For the record, Elise Drumgo, Deputy Administrator for Development and Economic Opportunity. What we have before you today is proposed acquisition of 4 parcels located in Seminole Heights. In sum, the parcels are comprised of approximately 2.7 acres. The resolution before you has provisions for closing within 60 days and 2 additional 60-day extensions provided for some time for us to go through our appraisal process to ensure that the properties appraise out. This particular request did not go before the East Tampa Community Redevelopment Agency, CAC, because of time. The sellers did not want to wait for additional meetings to circle around before they engaged in this contract. So for us, we want to make sure that we're able to be competitive and be able to compete with private developers in the private market. And so this was the purpose for the special call today. In sum, we're seeking, it's $2 million on the acquisition, together with a closing cost of approximately $22,000. I do have the parcels up, if you could, on the Elmo. These properties are east of Nebraska and north of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And again, the intended purpose is to redevelop this site for affordable housing. So I'll stop and I'll stand for any questions or comments you may have.
Councilwoman Hurtak.
Thank you. We spoke briefly about this. This is a property we're familiar with. I just wanted to make sure that we talked about definitely the need for housing and the type of housing. The concern with the community was too much density, concern of traffic, and so just to let them know that we would be working with the community to figure out what we want to put there, but we're not considering like 4-story high-rise.
So you make a great point, Councilwoman, and so this particular site, it is nestled within a single-family residential community, and so it would likely not be, fit with the context to put in a multi-story, multi-family apartments. So for us, we're welcome to go back to the community and have the conversation about the housing typology. And we certainly understand that you don't get it all on every project when you think about affordable housing or redevelopment, and it's important to execute projects that also fit the context of the community.
Thank you.
Sure.
Board Member Clendenin.
What is the current land use on this? What is it? What are the entitlements?
So it's a church currently. There was an attempt to rezone the property before in the past for approximately 40 units, I believe, but that did not.
It did not
pass.
So it's only zoned as a church right
It
now?
is currently, the use is a church, and it's zoned it's Seminole Heights residential. So that's
Seminole
single
Heights
family residential.
Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Now, are we ready to move the resolution?
Okay. There's a motion by Board Member Miranda, second by Board Member Maniscalco. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yes, discussion. Board Member Vieira.
Oh, no, and I thought it had passed. I was just gonna say it was nice to hear from Mr. Baraday, who a lot of us know who's a very nice gentleman who does a lot of great work in the community. So nice to hear from you, Thad.
Okay, so we have a motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Motion to move and close. Any discussion? Okay.
Second.
Okay, motion to receive and file documents by Board Member Maniscalco, second by Board Member Hurtak. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay,
Adjourned.
meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
muted. unmuted.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the City Council evening meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order. If we could have roll call, please.
Carlson. Hurtak. Clinton.
Here.
Henderson. Vieira. Miranda. Maniscalco.
Here.
We have a physical quorum.
Thank you very much.
Chair, if I may?
Yes, sir.
Really fast. I think I told you this. I will probably be leaving a little bit before 6 for a graduation,
Okay.
if that's okay. The evening council wasn't on my schedule, so I double booked, but whatever. But yeah, just FYI. I don't think we're gonna go too late, but.
You never know. But I also have this memo here from Councilmember Carlson. Please be advised that I will be unable to attend the evening city council meeting on Thursday, May 25th, due to my son's graduation. I would appreciate this information regarding my absence be read in the record. So here you go. Congratulations. Yes, it's very important. So we will begin. We have 6 items tonight. One will not be heard due to a missed notice, so we'll go ahead. Can I get a motion to open all public hearings? Motion from Councilman Vieira, second from Councilmember Miranda. All in favor? Aye. All right. Let's clean up the agenda first. Item number 6 is a missed notice and will not be heard. May I have a motion to remove that from the agenda? Motion from Councilmember Miranda, second from Councilmember Hurtak. All in favor? Aye. All right, we go to number 1. Mr. Hussein, do you have anything, or was that it? Just take it off?
No, you handled it well.
Thank you very much. All right, first one, we have the Tampa Comprehensive Plan, and we have a presenter. Go ahead.
All right, Emily Phelan, Planning Commission staff. This is TACPA 2230. It is a comprehensive plan text amendment for land use policy 5.1.6, floor area ratio blending in urban villages within the central planning district. This is a privately initiated amendment. The policy was previously amended by TACPA 2101, which expanded blending from within an urban village to a half-mile outside of an urban village. Planning Commission staff reviewed this and found it consistent with the following policies relating to promotion of the compact city form strategy to provide greater density and intensity near the urban villages, and greater flexibility in the development process will streamline the development of the city form encouraged by the comprehensive plan. The proposed language would expand the proportionate weight of density and intensity to sites less than 1 acre, with the provision that the site must have frontage along an arterial roadway. And the Planning Commission recommends that the proposed text amendment be found consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the Tampa Comprehensive Plan. I did forget to mention in the beginning, this was transmitted to DEO after the March 9th hearing, and this is the formal first adoption. And this ends my presentation, and the applicant has the presentation.
Do you have any questions at this time? No? All right. Next up. Yes, ma'am?
Good evening, Council. Alex Shaler, 400 North Ashley Drive. As Emily mentioned, here with a comp plan text amendment, which I think is an amendment that you guys don't see as often, obviously, as map amendments. So I wanted to go through procedurally a little bit, and Emily did a great job setting this up, where we were with this amendment and where it's going. So Tyler Hudson was here presenting on this case back on March 9th. That was, as Emily mentioned, the transmittal hearing. That was sent up to the state in Tallahassee. They had no objections or comments on this application. That happened last month in April. And then today, again, we're here for our first adoption hearing. And while the state was reviewing this text amendment wasn't necessarily an original idea. This was stemmed by a rezoning that we filed both a PD rezoning as well as a map amendment. So while those applications are separate from this one, they're all relatively tied together. And in both of those, the PD rezoning and the map amendment were unanimously approved on first reading. Again, here for the adoption hearing on the text amendment, and if we're fortunate enough to gain your approval tonight, we will be back again with all three for the second adoption hearing and the second readings for the other two applications on June 15th. So explaining this request in a little bit more detail, the way the density blending works, that's what this policy is. So land use policy 5.1.6 is a comprehensive plan policy that allows you to blend your density amongst different land use designations. This is permitted in some areas of the city, as the policy reads today. However, there are certain areas of the city where you cannot blend. So as you can see on this one, we're using the example site, which is the site that was with the Associated PD. With this assemblage, as the language reads today, you cannot blend the density. You would have to take your higher density future land use, that UMU 60 along Kennedy, and develop that square footage on that parcel where it is there. And then you would have to take the R20 on the northern parcels adjacent to North A Street and put that density there. So going into a little bit more detail on where is blending allowed today. So the blending is allowed in the urban villages. I think you all are really familiar with those. It's Ybor, it's Channel District, it's a portion of Tampa Heights. And blending is also allowed in other specific areas that meet these four criteria that are listed on the screen. So the first one is that all of the parcels must be a PD. I think this is very, very important, and Tyler noted the importance of this as well back in March. It's that this amendment to the language is not going to allow anything by right that somebody would get if they came in tomorrow. They have to have this as part of a PD. That's one of the criteria. So it will come before you. You will review it. The second is that it's in the Central Tampa Planning District, that envelope planning district around the downtown core. It has to still be within half a mile of an urban village, and it has to be greater than an acre. So the fourth criteria is the one that we are proposing not to change, but to expand upon. And the reason for that is because a lot of these larger sites, we do come before you with big city block redevelopments, but there's also smaller redevelopments, these 50-unit deals, these 12-unit deals on some of the smaller land in the city. That's a great candidate for infill redevelopment, but to do that, they need something like a policy like this to blend their density. So this came about, like I said, this is related to this specific project, 2517 Kennedy. I know you all are familiar with the location. It's at the corner of Kennedy and Tampania. The developer, Tim Johnson, met extensively with the neighbors whenever we were designing the site, and there was a very vocalization that they wanted the density along Kennedy. Obviously, they don't want it adjacent to their neighborhood and adjacent to North A. So that's how this came about, and that's how you could see if we did change this amendment, it would allow the density to push towards Kennedy Boulevard. So what we are proposing with our specific language in this amendment is that, again, all the other criteria 1 through 3 are remaining the same. 4 is remaining the same. We are proposing that if the site is not greater than an acre, this site, for example, is 0.65, so it's not, about halfway there. But for sites that are not greater than an acre, they can use this blending policy if they're located along an arterial roadway. And the reason for that, going back to before we filed this application, we brought this to Planning Commission and said, hey, we think that there is a way to make this happen, and we think this makes sense, not just for this project, but for future infill redevelopment projects. And we all agreed that tying this to arterial roadway frontage was a way to ensure that the density would be placed where it needs to be placed. So what are the city's arterials? We went into a little bit more detail on this during the transmittal hearing. You all might recall that. These arterials are shown with the thick black line on this map here. This is the city's roadway classification map. Some of the main ones are listed here on the left. So these are where the city's arterials are today. Where they are not, there are no arterials currently on Harbor Island. On Davis Island there is, but as the Davis Boulevard splits east and west, that's the end of that arterial roadway on the island. So like I said, there was some conversation about how does the roadway become an arterial, and I believe that staff answered that during the transmittal hearing, but if we need any bit more information on that, we're happy to elaborate. Again, it's a complex formula that takes into account speed and volume and roadway design, and it's not something that can happen overnight. So again, the most important point here, and I'll close out with this, is that somebody who's looking to take advantage of this blending policy for the site that's less than an acre would have to come before you with a PD. And I will note to you that the Planning Commission does require an actual physical site plan note on the site plans that says this project is taking advantage of blending policy 5.1.6. So you would even be directed to understand that they were employing this on any kind of PDs that come before you. As Emily mentioned, Planning Commission staff found this consistent, and then Planning Commission recommended this for consistency as well. So I am available to answer any questions. I know that sometimes the text amendments can be a little bit more vague, just the nature of the amendments, but we're happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions? Councilman Miranda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much for that presentation. That's on the Channelside District, correct? What you're talking about, that you want this done?
This is a different amendment than the one I was here on last week. This is a text amendment to the comprehensive plan and not the city's code. This one is for the density blending and not the overall. You're talking about the multifamily CBD periphery.
But does this give you the right to do to 200 units, to 200 to 400 units?
This is specifically letting you take your total entitlements for your site based off of different land use designations and place the actual structures or buildings anywhere on the site.
And does this talk anything about parking at all?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Councilmember Clendenin.
Do we have a depiction of the Central Tampa Planning District?
Do you guys have that on file? I don't, but I could pull it up.
Could you give me a verbal description?
It's the envelope outside of the city's core. I can't remember exactly the roadways. You have it? Oh, great.
It's the green.
Let me switch to you. Hold on.
Could we get the
Yeah.
overhead up?
Yep.
And the urban villages are the colored blocks within the green line, but the green line is the Central Tampa.
So everything within that green line.
Yes.
And what is, so that little section between Bayshore and the pink section that's inside that, where, can you zoom into that? And Davis Islands?
I'm going the wrong way. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Move it on up.
And I don't know if you guys can see. Do you want me to see this legend? Well,
Yeah,
you're
we
gonna
can
zoom
see it,
out,
we can
but
see it.
the light. This is the Hyde Park urban village. This is Davis Islands urban village. That's helpful.
Councilmember Hurtak.
So even with this, if you could, so now that we kind of have a visual of this, take a look at then again the
Yes.
the roadways.
I think this is, yeah, it's the same map on
Okay.
both ones. But this has the list. I'll leave this one up.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Nope. Thank you. Do we have anybody in the public that wishes to speak on this item, item number 1? Do we have anybody registered? May I have a motion to close?
So, second.
Motion to close from Councilwoman Hurtak, second from Councilman Vieira. All in favor? Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Councilmember Miranda, would you like to read item number 1?
I'll read it for first reading, see what happens later on in life. File number TACPA 22-30, an ordinance amending the Image 2040 Tampa Comprehensive Plan, future land use element, amending land use policy 5.1.6 that would allow lands outside an urban village to appropriately weigh the floor area ratio over the entire site and permitted use within each of the land use plan categories to be considered anywhere on site if, 1, such land is located within half a mile radius of an urban village boundary, and 2, project is approved through a plan development or plan development alternative zoning that is A, at least 1 acre in size, and B, or maintains frontage on an arterial roadway. This provision may not utilize any land outside of the central planning district, providing for repeal of all ordinance in conflict, providing severability, providing an effective date.
We have a motion from Councilmember Miranda, second from Councilmember Hurtak. Roll call.
Carlson?
Any discussion before we take the vote? I'd like to discuss. Councilman Clendenin.
I'm going to vote no unless we were able to amend and exclude the sections on Davis Island and all property south of Azeel. Other than that, I think it kind of makes sense, but again, these areas are taxed already, and if it's not areas we want to encourage density. We're not going to have transportation corridors in those areas, and it's just the wrong direction for growth for the city of Tampa.
Yeah, and I'm not disagreeing with that. I mean, I read it for first reading, and I said second reading is a different thing.
All right, yes, ma'am.
I'm just gonna point out that if they're only allowed on these black lines,
Well, would you be Zeal and Davis Allen Boulevard and?
but that would only, it's a very limited amount of space.
Yeah, but it's still kind of critical areas.
Okay.
Roll call?
Carlson, Hurtak,
Yes.
Clendenin,
No.
Henderson,
Yes.
Viera,
Yes.
Miranda,
Yes.
Maniscalco.
Yes.
Motion carried with Carlson being absent and Clendenin voting no. Second reading and adoption will be held on June 15th, 2023 at 9:30 a.m.
Thank you very much. Do you have the second, I'm sorry, Mr. Hay?
Good
Do we have
evening,
any
council members.
registered speakers
David
for
Hay with your
public
plan.
comment? Denise, do we have anybody registered for public comment tonight?
For number two?
For anything?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Diana Ponte,
Okay.
representative.
Okay, that's fine. Yes, sir, go ahead, sorry.
Good afternoon, David Hay with your Planning Commission staff. I just want to confirm the agent is online
Yes.
this evening? Okay. They did communicate to us at the Planning Commission, they may seek a continuance, so if we could maybe ask if that's their direction
Okay.
on this, and if not, I'll present.
All right, her name was Diana, you said?
Yes, Diane Ponte.
Diane Ponte. Diane, if you're on line, do you wish to continue this item before we begin, or do you want to proceed with the hearing this evening?
I did want to request a continuance because I'm doing we applied for changing of future land use and rezoning.
Okay. And when do you want to continue this to?
I believe there was another hearing June 8th that would involve the continuance of
June
both,
8th.
but I'm not 100% sure.
June 8th is very busy. Yeah, we have 10 land rezonings and then some continued ones. Let's see what else we have.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, if you can.
Yep.
Forgive me for asking, I came in, I was just talking to one of the applicants, but the issue for this is that, is there something happening on June 8th that's this is tied to?
Is this tied to a rezoning that's happening on June 8th, or is this just a standalone?
Well, I'm doing a rezoning and the change of future land use together, and I was given June 8th as a date for another hearing, which I'm assuming is a rezoning one.
Yes. There's a.
You're saying development coordination. I could reach out to the applicant on this one. I do not believe this case is scheduled for June 8th. I will double check, and I could let the applicant know if that can go forward. June 8th, right now, we have 14 rezoning cases going for that night. So I'll leave it to council's decision on that.
I mean, the next evening session where we have rezonings is July 20th, and I don't see how many items we have then, but June 8th is very, very, very packed. Would you consider going to July 20th?
If it's necessary, I don't have anything against that.
Now, do you have is there a rezoning tied to this? Do you have another hearing that's already scheduled?
That was my understanding when I was given the dates for all the hearings, and
But,
that's when I was given the June 8th date,
But-
but I haven't registered for that. I did apply for rezoning for that date.
no, so we should be able to do July 20th because there's not already scheduled rezoning.
Council members, I just want to make sure the applicant is clear that their plan amendment and zoning don't have to run together. She could, if she would like, she could proceed forward tonight on the plan amendment, and then if the zoning is actually scheduled on the 8th, that still could be heard. It's.
Yeah, that's fine as well. It doesn't have to be the.
Oh, okay, yeah, so you can do this tonight and then the rezoning on the 8th. Okay,
Yes,
that's fine.
there's-
Yeah, whatever simplest.
Okay.
So would you like to go ahead and proceed tonight?
Yeah,
This is-
sure. let's do
This
that.
is just for the plan amendment, not the rezoning.
Okay.
Okay? All right, Mr. Hay, go ahead.
All right. Good evening, council members. Again, David Hay with your Planning Commission staff. The next item for your review is Plan Amendment TACPA 2302. It is located at 7702 South O'Brien Street. The request is privately initiated. It is small scale. It's approximately 0.12 acres in size. Currently, the subject site has a future land use designation of light industrial, and the applicant is looking to go to the residential 10 future land use category. A general location, the subject site, it's in the South Tampa Planning District, more specifically the Port Tampa City neighborhood. It is located within the coastal high hazard area, and it is just immediately north of MacDill Air Force Base. Here we have an aerial of the subject site. You could see the subject site outlined in yellow here in the center of the map. This is South O'Brien Street. It runs south and dead ends into MacDill Air Force Base. This is the fuel tanks for MacDill. As you could see, by this aerial, it's slightly dated. There are a number of single-family detached residential that has been developed on these vacant lots. This area over here still remains vacant. A lot of that property is city-owned, the woods. And then you get more industrial as you move west into Port Tampa. Here we'll have some photos of the subject site. This is looking toward the subject site from South O'Brien. You could see those vacant lots that were shown are developed with single-family detached. Here we're looking south down O'Brien Street. These are the residential units across the street. The subject site is out of frame on the left, and MacDill Air Force Base, the boundary is where those trees are at the end of the road. This is the residential unit directly to the west of the subject site. And here we're looking southeast down South O'Brien Street. The subject site is out of frame right here on the left. And then here we're looking west down the adjacent drainage canal. This drainage canal runs east-west through that section of Port Tampa City. So this drainage canal actually forms the northern property boundary of the plan amendment site. And it's to the back of the photographer in this photo. Here we have the subject site outlined in black. You can see it's that light gray. That represents the remaining light industrial parcels that are located down there in Port Tampa City. There's been numerous plan amendments over the years amending these sites to the residential 10 future land use. The residential 10 is the tan color. So the residential 10 actually surrounds the site on 4 sides. The street shown to the north, that's actually that drainage canal. There's not a street there. And the blue represents MacDill Air Force Base, and then the green represents the recreation open space. The Southwest Port Tampa City Park is located there. Here we've got the map, the future land use map, if the subject site is approved. So currently, under that light industrial, there is no residential potential on that site, but there is potential for up to light industrial uses up to approximately 7,500 square feet. Under the residential 10, the light industrial and the heavy commercial use potential would be removed off the site, and 1 dwelling unit could be placed there. Any non-residential uses except residential support would need to meet commercial locational criteria, and as you can see, the square footage is greatly reduced. The Planning Commission did review and found there were numerous policies that this plan amendment was consistent with, especially policies regarding the protection of residential neighborhoods and then the promotion of infill policies. So based on that, your Planning Commission does recommend that the proposed map amendment be found consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the Tampa Comprehensive Plan. That concludes my presentation. I'm available if you have any questions.
Any questions? Thank you very much. All right, we have the applicant online. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Hello, just wanted to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Diana Ponte. I am representing my company, Ohio Real Estate Group, LLC. We do a lot of real estate in regards to wholesaling, rezone, fix and flip, we do a wide range of things in regards to real estate. And we're here today because the goal is to change the future land use from light industrial to residential 10 so that we can build a single-family attached residential home there. I know that the coastal high hazard is the main obstacle in the way for this, but like it was stated, this lot is surrounded by other residential homes and it's within a residential neighborhood. The plan is to build a two-story home of about 3,000, a little over 3,000 square feet in living space and about a little over 4,000 square feet with garages. And so our hope is that we can get this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the applicant? No? Do we have anybody in the public that wishes to speak on item number 2? I see no one. Do we have anybody else registered for public comment? May I have a motion to close?
So move.
Motion from Councilmember Vieira, second from Councilmember Miranda. Any questions before we close? No? All right, all in favor? Aye. All right, thank you very much. Councilmember Vieira, would you mind reading item number 2?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, I move an ordinance being presented for first reading consideration, ordinance amending Imagine 2040 Tampa Comprehensive Plan, future land use element, future land use map for the property located at 7702 South O'Brien Street from light industrial LI to residential 10 R10, providing for repeal of all ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Vieira, second from Councilmember Miranda. Roll call.
Hurtak,
Yes.
Clendenin,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Vieira,
Yes.
Miranda, Carlson, Maniscalco.
Yes.
Motion carried with Carlson being absent. Second reading and adoption will be held on June 15th, 2023 at 9:30 a.m.
Thank you. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Good evening, Council. Sam Thomas with your Planning Commission staff. This is TACPA 2304, located at 1222 Channelside Drive. The request is privately initiated. It's small scale in size, approximately 1 acre, and the request is to go from heavy industrial to regional mixed use 100. Here is the site on our general locator map. It's within the Central Tampa Planning District, the Channel District neighborhood, CRA, and Urban Village. It's also within the coastal high hazard area and the CBD periphery. Here is a site on an aerial map. It's outlined in red and highlighted in yellow. It is just to the west of Channelside Drive and just north of East Twig Street. As you can see, the area is very urban and high intensity and density in nature. Just to the east of the site is the Ybor Channel and Port Tampa Bay. As you move south, you have the cruise ship terminal facilities, and you also have the streetcar stop there. Kennedy Boulevard is just a little bit farther to the south. As you move north of the site, you have the Selman Expressway. As you go north of the Selman Expressway, you move into Ybor City, and the Gasworks development is in this general vicinity right here. As you move west, you have Nucio Parkway and Tampa Union Station, and then further west outside of the picture is downtown Tampa. I would like to note this aerial is a little outdated. This parcel right here that's currently showing vacant with some commercial uses is being developed as a mid-rise residential building, and directly across from the site that is now a mid-rise residential building as well, and that will be reflected in the pictures. So this is looking west from East Twig Street. The subject site is here on your right. That was the vacant site that you saw in the aerial, and then the other site that's under construction is right here that I noted. This is looking north at the subject site from East Twig Street. This is looking south from the subject site. It would be behind the photographer at the intersection of Channelside Drive and East Twig Street. And this is looking east on East Twig Street. The subject site is here on your left. So here is the adopted future land use map. You can see the subject site is recognized under that dark gray color, which represents the heavy industrial future land use designation. As you can notice in the map that there's not very much heavy industrial left in the Channel District. There have been quite a few plan amendments over the years to change this from heavy industrial to regional mixed use 100. Additionally, the site directly north of it came before some of this council last year under TACPA 2225, and that was changed to regional mixed use 100. The maps are updated quarterly, so that has not been reflected on this map yet. And here is the proposed future land use. You can see it recognized under the regional mixed use 100 designation. And I apologize, somewhere between here and County Center, my pretty slide that shows the development potential fell out, so I pulled it out of my staff report. Currently under the heavy industrial future land use designation, the site could be considered for a little over 65,000 square feet of non-residential uses. Residential uses are not permitted in the heavy industrial. Under the regional mixed use 100 designation, they can be considered for 100 dwelling units or a little over 152,000 square feet. I would like to note they are in the CBD periphery though, so those numbers could be bonused up to higher densities and intensities. So the request was found consistent with policies that call for designating sufficient land to accommodate Tampa's share of the regional growth and that support converting non-residential properties along mixed-use corridors to residential or mixed uses, along with ensuring that development is compatible with the surrounding land uses, promoting density that supports walking and uses of public transportation. So in conclusion, the Planning Commission found this map amendment consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the Tampa Comprehensive Plan, and that concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Any questions for the gentleman? Nope, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Applicant?
I have a
Yes, ma'am.
question about the, it's classified as the hazard area. Did you take that into consideration at all? Because it's, that's the only question that I have, is that that area, although there is a lot of residential there, it is considered that because of maybe it was industrial before? Or is still classified as industrial?
Yeah, Planning Commission staff did take into account the coastal high hazard area, and that was reflected in our staff report. The Planning Commission, however, disagreed with Planning Commission's staff on that finding and decided that even though this is within the coastal high hazard, because of the current development pattern, it made sense to recommend a consistency on this.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you very much. Applicant?
Good evening again, Council. Alex Shaler, 400 North Ashley Drive. I'm back with a map amendment in the Channel District. I won't run through the location details, but I think this particular block will look very familiar to you at the northwest corner of Twigs and Channel Side. I used a little bit of PowerPoint magic to reflect the recent comp plan amendment to the north of this site. So as you can see, the way that this site stands today, it is an island of industrial and an otherwise RMU 100 portion of the Channel District there. This chart goes into a little bit more detail on the density. The main point here is just that heavy industrial obviously does not allow residential uses at all. We'd be introducing residential by changing this to RMU 100. And I think to my point earlier regarding that this is creating an island of industrial, I think it's important to recognize while we understand that it is important to preserve industrial lands, I think there is a place for them, and unfortunately it's no longer, or fortunately, no longer in the Channel District. And leaving this piece as heavy industrial obviously presents some serious compatibility concerns, given that the rest of the neighborhood is now residential. We're not going to put a big manufacturing facility on this site that close to high-density mixed-use residential. And so again, that is the trending pattern of the district, and it was at one time very, classified by heavy industrial, but it's no longer been that. As Sam mentioned, it's transitioned over the years. I think this is a good map showing all of these green dotted hatched areas are sections of land that have been amended from their original industrial designation, not just to a mixed use future land use designation, but specifically to RMU 100. So high density mixed use, and these two boxes shown in green are the ones that Sam referenced. These are the cases that we brought before you back in 2022. So when you look at it creating an environment for successful urban development, I think one of the major components of that is transit. And in this site, by Tampa standards, has very good transit. I mean, the Tico streetcar line runs just along Channel Side. There's HART routes along Channel Side. This is very, very close to the Selman and to Adamo Drive, some major connectors, as well as Tampa Union Station. We would be remiss not to address the coastal high hazard area. That was a great question. And, we deal with this on all of our projects in the Channel District. And, you all have heard this perspective before, but when you're reviewing the comprehensive plan, you have to look at the plan as a whole. So the coastal management section while it's very important, it is one small section in an otherwise very, very, very large comprehensive plan. So, we're looking at some of these other supporting policies, and I think that's what the Planning Commission was looking at as well. There are so many policies that support this kind of development in this district. It's hard to ignore the overwhelming majority. And so I'll run through these kind of quickly. I know Sam had mentioned a couple, but to speak back to urban villages, as we discussed a bit earlier, the comp plan does say that the greatest share of the city's growth should be directed to the urban villages. This is fully located within the Channel District Urban Village. The next set is in regards to city planning. The comp plan is very clear on further developing these vacant or underutilized sites, and I'll note that a little bit later in greater detail, a couple slides from now. There's some policies related strictly to multifamily residential, and although this is a mixed-use category, it's very possible that there will be a high percentage of multifamily residential there. And in the comp plan notes that we should allow multifamily in areas that are predominantly occupied by multi, and in the Channel District, as we all know, it's very prevalent in multifamily development. There's policies that support mixed-use corridors as well, specifically converting non-residential development, which has the site exists as it currently is today, and then the housing stock. We've had this discussion, time and time again. There are 150 people moving to our city every day, and we have to have a place to put them. And the Channel District is a very, very desirable place to live. It's close to downtown. You don't have to own a car to live in the Channel District. You can bike. You can walk to restaurants. It's essentially that link between Water Street and what will be the future Gasworks development. And it's on the water. And, they've done a really good job of, congregating their green space. It's a great place to live. And, I think that, it's evident by the current population in the district that people want to be there. Although this area is governed above by the comprehensive plan, given it is in its own CRA, the CRA produces their, quote, neighborhood plan is really what it is, with their visions and their goals for the district. And this is a direct quote from the plan, and I've used this before. You all have seen this. I think it's a really great way to show where the Channel District was and where it's going. It says in the future it's going to be limited industrial uses, which we've already seen today, in a large and growing residential component. Three specific sections from the plan I wanted to note on. Again, I'd mentioned that this is an underutilized site, and the plan recognizes that. It has this shaded in green, which is their code for areas that are currently underutilized in the district. The second one is a chart that numerically shows what, the future land use map shows you graphically. It's that, this area is predominantly RMU 100, and, even those acreages are even more increased because this is back in 2021, so it hasn't reflected some of the recent plan amendments in the adjacent area. And then number 3, I thought was really important to note that the Channel District CRA plan actually has a picture of this site in the conditions of blight section in their plan. So that just goes to speak that this is a site that needs to be redeveloped, that this is a great candidate to put something really, really great here. And to do that, we need this RMU 100 designation. So again, the Planning Commission voted to recommend this consistency, and then that is the end of my presentation. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
I have a question. Since you're wanting to go from industrial to mixed use, could there be an opportunity for attainable and affordable housing in this development?
And I will note too, this is a little bit beyond the scope of this specific plan amendment, but the applicant or the developer that we're filing this application for also developed entitled the two parcels directly north, both of which have 10% affordable housing set aside. So it's very possible that this could do the same.
Well, it's in Channel Side and it's on the Heartline, so that would be of great interest, to people who need affordable housing. Yes, thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
2 things. One, the bonus provision of any and the parking ratio, what are they?
Yeah, the Channel District current parking ratio is 0.75 per unit for multifamily. I believe it's 0.5 per 1,000 for retail commercial uses. That was changed recently with the overhaul of the parking code of the CBD and Channel District. And then your other question regarding, what was it again? Remind me.
Any bonus provisions?
The bonus provisions, yes. So this is in the CBD periphery, so they are allowed to double their density in exchange for providing bonus provisions in accordance with 27-140.
You can go from 200 to 400?
They can, since it's mixed use, it's likely it'll be developed by FAR. So right now, RMU 100 is 3.5, and they could double that to a 7.0. So 7.0 times their land area.
what does that come out to?
I don't
Well,
know that
then
I
the next
have.
question is-
Do y'all have the numbers? I don't think I ran them.
You want me to answer?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so with the bonus provision, the maximum they could attain on the site would be 200 dwelling units or a little under 305,000 square feet of residential or non-residential uses.
200 units?
Yeah, 200 would be the
And
max.
what about the parking ratio? What does that come out to?
I have to apologize, the parking ratio is outside of my scope.
Outside of mine also.
Yeah.
I can calculate it probably. Yeah, like I said, it's 0.75 per unit. There is no visitor parking requirement. What? Yeah, if you want to
Said
calculate.
200 in the notes, but.
Balance is 150.
150 or 175, whatever. 150? And how many parking units are you going to provide?
This is just a comp plan amendment, so this is just changing the land designation that would be established through the rezoning.
But then if you get this, the other one changes or what?
There is not currently a filed PD application on 1222 channel side. You're probably thinking of 1236, which is the parcel just north. So that was already amended to RMU 100, and that PD was approved on first reading.
And I understand that everybody says you don't need parking, you don't need parking, you don't. Well, I got news for us. Until we have transit, you need parking. But we don't have any transit to speak of. But, all right, thank you.
Of course.
All right. Do I have anybody in the public that wishes to speak on this item? This is item number 3. Wait, do we have anybody registered online? All right, motion to close from Councilmember Vieira, second from Councilmember Clendenin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Councilmember Henderson, would you like to read item number 3?
Yes, file number TA/CPA 23-04. I move ordinance being presented for first reading consideration, and ordinance amending the Imagine 2040 Tampa Comprehensive Plan, future land use element, future land use map for the property located at 1222 Channelside Drive from heavy industrial to regional mixed use 100, providing for repeal of all ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
Do we have a second? Second. Second from Councilmember Vieira. Roll call.
I'm going to support it in first reading. I don't know what I'll do on second.
All right.
Clendenin,
Yes.
Henderson,
I'm going to support it, but I would like to see affordable housing. Yes.
Vieira,
Yes.
Miranda,
Yes.
Carlson, Hurtak,
Yes.
Maniscalco.
Yes.
Motion carried with Carlson being absent. Second reading and adoption will be held on June 15th, 2023 at 9:30 a.m.
All right. The following 2 items and the final items for tonight require those that are going to be speaking to be sworn in. So if you are going to be speaking on item 4 or 5, please stand, raise your right hand, and we'll swear you in.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Mr. Hussein, go ahead, sir. Item number 4.
Zain Hussein, Development Coordination. Agenda item number 4, case AB 22311. This is a request for a special use 2 for a small venue, beer, wine, and liquor consumption on premises only at the location 7107 North Florida Avenue. I will first go ahead and share the aerial view of the property. As you see, the property right here outlined in red. This is, to the right, you'll have SHRM zoning. To the west, you'll have SHCI and SHPD. The current zoning of this lot is SHCI, Seminole Heights Commercial Intensive. Looking around it, you have a commercial, you'll have a storage unit, you'll have a car lot to the north. To the south, you'll have Tampa's Bo's Ice Cream. You'll have residential to the east, and also to the south, you will have a baseball field, as you see to the south. I'll now go ahead and show the site plan provided by the applicant. As you see the site here located on North Florida, you have East Cluster Avenue to the north and to the south you'll have a vacant lot and also Bo's Ice Cream. The proposed AB sales area is 3,136 square feet indoors, 1,150 square feet outdoors, for a total AB sales area of 4,286 square feet. The proposed use is for a restaurant. The hours of operation will be Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. till 10 p.m., Saturday, 10:30 a.m. till 10 p.m., and Sunday, 10:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. The required parking for the site is 14 parking spaces, and the applicant is providing 16 parking spaces. And this is to the west of the subject site and also to the south, where the parking will be provided. As you see the site here, access coming from North Florida and also from East Cluster. The applicant is not requesting any waivers. I will now show you the elevations provided by the applicant. As you see the site, this will be a bamboozle in the heights. Another view. And one more view of the site. As I went out to the site and took pictures myself, I am currently here standing on North Florida, looking directly at the site where Bamboozle will be. I am in this picture standing in the parking lot. As you see, you have the indoor and outdoor space. Another view here. I am right now at the intersection of North Florida and East Cluster Avenue. As you see, you have a car lot right there to the north. To the west, you'll have a motel and extra storage space and other commercial establishments along North Florida. And to the south, you'll have Bo's Ice Cream. Development Review and Compliance staff has reviewed the application and finds the overall request to be consistent with the Land Development Code. Should it be the pleasure of City Council to approve the application, the applicant must provide revisions to the revision sheet, which is within the staff report between first and second reading. I'm here for any questions.
Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you put the site plan back up?
Of course.
And can you just notate where the outdoor, I couldn't tell where the outdoor area was.
Yeah, understood.
Nothing.
I'll zoom in on it.
Yeah, but I'm not quite sure where. I think it's over there.
As you see
Okay.
the outdoor space.
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you. Because it also looks like it's also at Florida Ave, too.
It faces Florida, doesn't it?
Understood. Yeah, it kind of wraps around, so
Okay, cool.
come out here.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure it was toward the front and not toward the back. Thank you.
Of course.
Anybody else? Nope. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Applicant, please state your name.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Council. Jim Porter. I'm with the Ackerman Law Firm, 401 East Jackson Street, Tampa. I'm here representing the applicant. I was going to do the big reveal and tell you it was Bamboozled, but Zane beat me to the punch. We're very excited about this project. As you know, Bamboozled was a long time downtown classic restaurant, and now we're moving to the Heights, so we're very excited about that. I'm going to just show you a few pictures, even though Zane did most of it. One, because we cannot get enough of Bo's, and this is going to be our neighbor, so wrong way around. Oh, I don't know how to do that.
Top part, the top part.
Oh, okay, there we go. There's Bose. Councilman, thank you, that's perfect. Councilman Hurtak, I want to show you, this is a close-up of the patio area. It is facing Florida and directly to the north, and I want to show you what's directly opposite of that, just so you get an idea, because that is obviously always going to be a concern. This is the lovely view directly opposite where the patio will be. That's immediately to the north. It's an auto body repair shop, so it's a very heavy commercial use. We are not aware of any opposition, and this is a rarity, I think, for most applications. Certainly for me, we're asking for no waivers. So we respectfully ask for your approval. We concur with the staff recommendation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? No? Thank you very much. Do we have anybody in the public that wishes to speak on this item, item number 4?
Move to close.
We have motion, nobody's registered, correct? No. Is there anybody on the next item either? All right, so we're good. Motion to close from Councilmember Miranda. Second from Councilmember Clendenin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Councilmember Clendenin, if you would like to read number 4.
I move file number AB 22311, an ordinance being presented for first reading consideration, an ordinance approving a special use permit S-2 for alcoholic beverage sales, small venue, consumption on premises only, and making lawful the sale of beverages regardless of alcohol content, beer, wine, and liquor on that certain lot, plot, or tract of land located at 7107 North Florida Avenue, Tampa, Florida, as more particularly described in Section 2, providing that all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict are repealed, providing an effective date.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Clendenin, second from Councilmember Miranda. Roll call vote.
Henderson,
Yes.
Miranda,
Yes.
Vieira, Carlson, Hurtak,
Yes.
Clendenin,
Yes.
Maniscalco.
Yes.
Motion carried with Vieira, Carlson being absent. Second reading and adoption will be held on June 15th, 2023 at 9:30 a.m.
Thank you, Council.
Yes, sir. Last
Zane.
item of the night.
Last item. Zane Hussein Development Coordination, agenda item number 5, case AB 223-13. Now, I just want to clear for the record that there's a correction to the agenda item language. The ordinance language is correct, but the agenda item language needs revisions. So this is a request for a special use 2 for a small venue for consumption on premises only at the location 1501 West Swan Avenue. The ordinance language is correct. I will first go ahead and show the aerial view of the property. This is in Hyde Park. As you see, it's on West Swan. The property is to the south. You'll have commercial, you'll have restaurant use, you'll have different types of mixed-use establishments. To the north, you'll have residential. To the west, you'll have more commercial establishments and restaurants. And to the east, you will have commercial and also residential. The proposed use is for 36-room hotel. The property will have hours that are consistent with Chapter 14. There is currently an AB1 at the site of On Swan, which is on the first floor. That AB sales area is approved via AB1 15-28, and that is for 3,969 square feet indoors and 271 square feet outdoors for a total of 4,240 square feet total. Now this AB sales is AB2 for upstairs. So the downstairs was On Swan, which will stay, which will remain. The proposed AB sales area is for upstairs. And that is for AB sales area for the second floor, indoors only, for 23,149 square feet. The proposed parking, as I will also show you the site plan. The proposed parking for this one site and the hotel is required for 46 parking spaces, and the applicant is providing 46 parking spaces. The establishment downstairs compared to upstairs, there are two different applicants and tenants that are operating each establishment. The entire Hyde Park development has a total non-residential parking requirement of 956 spaces, and there are 1,026 spaces being provided. As you see here, we're at the intersection of West Swan, you have South Oregon here, you'll have on Swan is here at the corner. You have other commercial establishments also within this shopping center. And this, the proposed AB sales will be on the second floor, as I'll show you in pictures to come. The applicant is requesting one waiver as of section 27-132 to reduce the required distance from other AB sales establishments from 250 feet to 0 feet. And the AB sales establishment is on Swan, right downstairs. I'll go ahead and show the elevations provided by the applicant. All right. Here you're at the intersection of South Dakota Avenue and West Swan Avenue. In this picture here on South Oregon and West Swan Avenue, looking right at the site on Swan, and then upstairs will be where the proposed hotel will be. Here in this picture, South Oregon Avenue view, looking at the back of the proposed development. In this picture, you are on South Dakota Avenue, looking at the commercial strip. As I went out to the site and took pictures, I will show you what I saw. I'm here at the intersection of West Swan and Oregon. As you'll see, you have on Swan there, the restaurant, and upstairs will be where the proposed AB sales area. Another picture of the intersection. You'll have the restaurant on Swan. Behind that, you'll have residential up South Oregon. I am standing in front of the restaurant here, looking down on the strip of commercial establishments, and upstairs you'll have the proposed AB sales area. South, across the street, you'll have a parking garage, you'll have a Barry's Fitness, a Nike, and also a proposed new restaurant coming in town. Looking north on Oregon, you'll have those residential single-family homes. And looking south on Swan, you'll have Timpanos, you'll have a parking garage, you'll have Goody Goody, and you'll have a Senate Bistro across the street. There is also one correction to the staff report on page 3, section 27-43. Consumption on premises only is for sales regardless of alcohol content. Development Review and Compliance staff has reviewed the application and finds the overall request to be inconsistent with the Land Development Code. Should it be the pleasure of City Council to approve the applicant must provide revisions to the revision sheet, which is within the staff report between first and second reading. The one waiver triggered a inconsistency overall finding. That's the reason.
And what was the waiver again? The distance separation?
Distance separation from 250 feet to 0 feet due to the on Swan being directly south.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions for the gentleman? Nope. All right, we have the applicant. Please state your name and present.
Good evening, Council. David Singer with the law firm of Older Lundy, 1000 Cass, with my able colleague Colin Rice. My presentation is extremely short, and I would like to just take a moment, because of the shortness of our presentation, and this being my first time in front of this new council, to say congratulations to all of you on your reelection, and a special hello and congratulations to Councilman Clendenin, Councilwoman Henderson. We look forward to working with you over the course of the next 4 years. This is an AB2 special use approval for a boutique hotel called Pally House, but it's not for the hotel itself. The hotel itself is already approved through previous rezoning. This is just the AB sales area in the hotel. Small venue, under 100 rooms, beer, wine, and liquor consumption on premises only. As Zane said, we are in the Hyde Park Urban Village, which is north of Swan and west of South Oregon. Second floor of an existing structure. There is no exterior walls being modified. There are no outdoor spaces being requested. There is no change in the building height whatsoever. Here we are facing north on Swan. Again, the hotel is currently undergoing that build out in the second floor. The On Swan restaurant is on the eastern edge of that same structure, and this hotel sits directly above existing retail. And you can see the primary entrance along Swan is at the center of this image. This is the approved PD site plan back from 2008. I've just called out via the highlight that the hotel use has already been approved. The allowable uses are to the right. The build out, as I said, is underway. Tampa's Land Development Code definition of hotel includes the provision, quote, typically accessory uses to a hotel include such things as a restaurant or a bar lounge. That's section 27-43. Again, alcohol is available for consumption on premise only, no package, no off premise. Zooming in on the site plan, again, only the existing second floor is subject to the application. The primary guest entrance is along the south of the building facing Swan, with the rear entrance for the parking area. Again, entirely an indoor request. It will be 36 boutique hotel rooms. There's a small lounge area and a kitchen adjacent to check-in. The lounge, really, this is for an amenity for the hotel guests. And food will be available from the kitchen when the lounge is open. The total hotel occupancy is 152, which is well under the large venue threshold of 300. This is comfortably, by definition, a small venue, and the reason that's important for me to share with you is hotels over 100 rooms are available and eligible for an administrative alcohol approval. But because we're small, offering only 36 rooms, we have to process this as an SU2, and so we're here tonight in front of you. We're requesting one waiver, as Zane said, and thankfully it is not a parking waiver. We are within the urban village. The only distance separation requirement is 250 feet, but we're right above On Swan, so that goes down to 0. Certainly alcohol use has been contemplated in this area and approved in this area. In fact, we have a letter of support from On Swan, which will be submitted into the record. Again, Hyde Park Urban Village, which encourages vertically integrated uses through the comp plan. I will put them up just so you could see the policies, but I don't need to belabor this and go through them. To conclude, the request, we believe, is consistent with hotel use, consistent with the area, compatible with the area. We're excited about the Pally House joining Hyde Park Village. We think it's going to be a cool addition to Tampa, and we're available for any questions.
Councilman Clendenin.
So moved.
No, you can't do it that quick.
And we'll submit for the record.
Any questions for the applicant? No? And there's a revision sheet, correct? Or no? Yes,
We
there
will
is.
make
The logo.
Thank you.
That's just a comment.
Thank you.
Do
I
we
will
have
pass that
anybody in
on.
the public that wishes to speak on this item, sir? No? Do we have anybody registered? No? Motion closed?
So move.
Motion closed from Councilmember Miranda, second from Councilmember Henderson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Councilmember Hurtak, would you like to read this?
Yes, thank you. File number AB2-23-13. An ordinance being presented for first reading consideration, an ordinance approving a special use permit, S2, for alcoholic beverage sales, small venue, consumption on premises only, and making lawful the sale of beverages regardless of alcohol content, beer, wine, and liquor on that certain lot, plot, or tract of land located at 1501 West Swan Avenue, second floor only, Tampa, Florida, as more particularly described in Section 2, providing that all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict are repealed, providing an effective date, including the revision sheet between first and second reading.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Hurtak, second from Councilmember Miranda. Roll call.
Vieira, Miranda,
Yes.
Carlson, Hurtak,
Yes.
Clendenin,
Yes.
Henderson,
Yes.
Maniscalco.
Yes.
Motion carried with Vieira and Carlson being absent. Second reading and adoption will be held on June 15th, 2023 at 9:30 a.m.
Thank you very much. That concludes the agenda. Councilmember Hurtak, do you have any new business? Councilmember Clendenin? Councilmember Henderson?
Yes, just one thing, my first commendation. I would like to make a motion to present a commendation to Miss Ruby Johnson, who will be retiring from Ray Williams Funeral Home after 40 years, since 1983 was when she started. Dedicated service not only to Ray Williams Funeral Home, but to thousands of grieving families. Miss Johnson, we would like to present this commendation to Miss Johnson off-site on June 10th at the David Barksdale Senior Center.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Henderson, second from Councilmember Miranda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Councilmember Miranda?
None.
No? I have a motion, sir.
Councilman Maniscalco.
I'd like to present a commendation off-site to Henry Chezabel, who is, I believe, 90 years old, and just for his many contributions over the years and volunteer service.
We have a motion from Councilman Maniscalco, second from Councilwoman Hurtak. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Do we have a motion to receive?
So,
We have a,
We have a correction. I was reminded that it was out of order to present these resolutions during the workshop, so I'm going to ask that be rescinded, and that council tonight then ratified Dominique S. Cobb as a member of the HPC and Samantha Decker as a member of the VRB.
Motion to rescind the resolutions.
we have a motion from Councilmember Henderson, second from Councilmember Hurtak. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And now do we have a motion to move those resolutions?
So moved.
Councilmember
Second.
Clendenin moving and Councilmember Miranda seconding. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can we get a motion
Move
to
to
receive and
file.
file? Motion from Councilmember Miranda, second from Councilmember Clendenin. All in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.
Okay.
That was
Miss
great.
Denise Brown?